What if I told you that the deadliest war in human history did not begin with a single gunshot, but with anger left unresolved, humiliation left untreated, and peace that was never truly enforced, because on the morning of August 6, 1945, at exactly 8:15 a.m., the sky above Hiroshima turned blinding white and, within seconds, hundreds of thousands of people were erased from existence, not knowing that this moment was the final chapter of a war that had been silently preparing itself for more than 2 decades. A war the world would come to know as World War II, a global catastrophe that did not appear out of nowhere but grew slowly from the ashes of World War I. When Germany, once a powerful and confident nation, was crushed under the Treaty of Versailles, forced to accept total blame for the war, stripped of its military, territories, colonies, resources, and pride, burdened with massive reparations it could never afford, and pushed into economic collapse, social unrest, and political chaos, where hyperinflation became so extreme that people needed wheelbarrows full of money just to buy bread, unemployment reached millions, diseases spread, starvation killed the poor, and faith in democracy completely collapsed, creating the perfect environment for a man like Adolf Hitler to rise, a failed artist and frustrated nationalist who understood one powerful truth: that desperate people are easy to manipulate. So through fiery speeches, mass rallies, propaganda, and false promises, he convinced Germans that their suffering was not their fault, that enemies had betrayed them, that the Treaty of Versailles was an insult, and that Germany deserved revenge, power, and dominance once again. And in 1933, when Hitler became Chancellor and later passed the Enabling Act, Germany transformed from a fragile democracy into a ruthless dictatorship, leaving the League of Nations, rebuilding its military in violation of treaties, reoccupying the Rhineland, uniting with Austria, seizing Czechoslovakia, while the world watched and hesitated, hoping appeasement would prevent another war. But that hope died on September 1, 1939, when German forces invaded Poland using blitzkrieg tactics, forcing Britain and France to declare war, officially igniting World War II. A war unlike any before it, because this was total war, where civilians were no longer protected, cities were bombed, factories became targets, science became a weapon. And entire nations mobilized every resource they had to destroy one another, dividing the world into 2 massive alliances: the Allied powers led by Britain, France, the Soviet Union, China, and later the United States, and the Axis powers led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, each fighting for survival, dominance, and ideology, as Germany rapidly conquered much of Europe, crushing Poland, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and even France in a matter of weeks, shocking the world and making Hitler seem unstoppable, while Britain stood alone, resisting Germany in the skies during the Battle of Britain, refusing to surrender despite relentless bombings, as the war expanded across North Africa, the Balkans, and the Atlantic, and then in 1941, driven by arrogance and obsession, Hitler made the fatal mistake that changed the course of history by betraying his non-aggression pact and launching Operation Barbarossa against the Soviet Union, opening the largest and bloodiest front the world had ever seen, where millions of soldiers froze, starved, and died in brutal combat, while the harsh Russian winter and relentless Soviet resistance slowly drained Germany's strength, and at the same time, across the globe, Imperial Japan, seeking dominance in Asia and the Pacific, attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, pulling the United States into the war and transforming it into a truly global conflict, as American industry, manpower, and military power shifted the balance, leading to massive battles on land, sea, and air, from Stalingrad to El Alamein, from Midway to Normandy, where on June 6, 1944, Allied forces launched the D-Day invasion, breaking through Nazi defenses and beginning the liberation of Western Europe, squeezing Germany from both east and west, until by 1945, Berlin lay in ruins, Soviet troops closed in, and Hitler, refusing capture, ended his life in a bunker, leading Germany to surrender. Yet the war was not over, because Japan continued to fight despite devastating losses, forcing the United States to make a decision that would change warfare forever. And so on August 6 and August 9, 1945, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, instantly killing hundreds of thousands and exposing the terrifying power of nuclear weapons, pushing Japan to surrender on September 2, 1945. Finally ending World War II, a war that claimed the lives of 60 to 80 million people, most of them civilians, destroyed entire cities, collapsed empires, ended colonial rule across Asia and Africa, divided Germany into East and West, replaced the failed League of Nations with the United Nations, and gave birth to the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, proving that World War II was not just a war of soldiers and borders, but a warning written in blood, showing what happens when injustice is ignored, hatred is exploited, power goes unchecked, and humanity forgets the cost of war, a lesson the world can never afford to forget. If you found this video informative and powerful, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history.